Hello everyone and welcome to round 7 of the RRLeagues GT3 Masters Championship, the 7th edition of this series. And today we are, as you know, at Barcelona for what is set to be a wet race, actually. So a 90-minute race in cloudy and rainy Barcelona, and it will be the first full wet race of the season, and most probably the only one. So everybody has prepared a wet setup. Let's see if the ACC weather gods don't trick us into another dry race, but probably not. After the last race, at the Nordschleife, won 2 times in the sprint race weekend by Max Bayer. We are today at Barcelona, and this is how the standings look for round 7 of the championship. It's Michael Thomas with a 70-point lead over Bram de Petre, and then it's Marvin Mackenberg already quite a ways back. So we'll see if there are any upsets in this top 3 order. If, for example, Max Bayer can claw onto the podium, the reigning champion. In the Silver Cup, Xander Huizing is still in the lead with 202 points, just ahead of Sven de Wulf. And Radek Pavlacek is in third, a bit further back. So the battle currently between Xander and Sven. So we'll see what happens there. And then for the AM Cup, it's Stefan Vierloos with a big lead, 123 points over Ruud Dennis's 70 points. So very difficult to surpass him, probably. But we'll see what happens. Dirk Weigt at the moment is in P3 for that championship. So always nice to see these 3 classes battle it out on the track. Then for the team's championship, Speculacious. So Sven and Marvin Mackenberg are well in the lead, 695 points in front of reigning champions Intense Racing, 534 points, and then followed again by NSN Racing. That's De Keizer and De Pretre. The Nations Cup currently is being led by Belgium with 9 drivers and 197 points. Austria is in second with 178 points, and then Germany with 173 points. So big changes from time to time there. We'll see who comes out on top. So we have Barcelona today, and then in 2 weeks time the final race of this season at Suzuka for a 2-hour race. We will see how the full championship pans out right there. First of all, let's honor our sponsors of this series. First of all, SimLab, main sponsor of this championship, has offered 1,500 euros of hardware vouchers in their shop that will be distributed between 1st to 5th place, and then 3 nice commitment prizes also on offer for those who have driven in 7 or 8 of the races. Race App also kindly offered some store vouchers and supporters packages for the livery launch week. More on that in just a second. And then the community itself is offering 2 GT World Championship tickets for first place in the team's championship, and t-shirts for all the winners in all the classes and the team's championship as well. So thanks to the sponsors for making this series possible. Now, before we head on to the track, it's time to get a view of another livery launch, which we saw already a few months back right now in August. And today we will be looking at the video created by the Nerve GT crew, and enjoy.
You're looking at the most advanced weapon system ever developed by man, the synthetic humanoid Evangelion. This is Unit 1, humanity's last hope for survival.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods. Top-notch hoes, get the most, not the lesser. Straight terror, product of your errors. Pushing culture, baby, got that product you can measure. Trendsetter, the one who get the weather. Swerving while I'm bumping Project Petter. Yeah, rolling through the city with the big dogs. Fuck the laws, loyal with me, we ain't got a cow. Zelly on silent, put the product in the pillar loud. That's how you make the money pop for everyone involved. And if you don't deserve a cut, then we gon' cut them off. My barber got me looking proper every single time. Fresh big, getting fitted on that top grade. No, you ain't walking out alive, smoking what we on. And you know I got it boy for the ones who gone. R.I.P.'s in your memory, we carry on. When I die, they will not bury me, not what I want. Burn my body, pour my ashes in the river, y'all. That's how we knowin' that the flow about to carry on. See, immortality's a fallacy, I prove it wrong. The Southern family gon' carry me the way beyond. Anything you've ever known, anything you've done. They ask me how you get like this, how you live like this. Why you worry about it? Get up on my dick, get up out the way. What you think this is? And we ain't worried about it. Why she skirt the whip? They ask me how you get like this, how you live like this. Why you worry about it? Get up on my dick, get up out the way. What you think this is? And we ain't worried about you. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So a very nice presentation there by the Nerv GT crew, Timo Siska and Justin Vetter. It's been a while since we've had them on the grid. We'll have to see if they show up today, but in any case, they put a lot of time and effort into that livery launch and that livery as well. Now, everybody is getting ready for the qualifying session, but before we do, let's have a look at one more team, shall we? Windward Racing, that's Michael Huma and Kevin Rowlands. They drew some inspiration from also the Spa 24 last year around, and they had the foresight to make some pictures of their real-life counterparts of Windward Racing, racing the 57 and 157 Mercedes AMG GT3 at the Spa 24, and using actually some in-game liveries, but nonetheless a nice presentation for them as well. And they've raced in pretty much all of the races so far, so good commitment from that team, always nice to see. And so now it is time to head to Barcelona. Everybody is finishing up their practice laps, and let's see how the pit lane is looking. And it is looking quite wet. We have 50 seconds, sorry, left on the clock for the practice session, and 20 drivers on the grid. Unfortunately, numbers dwindling for the end of the season, but for sure it will be a hard-fought race with this these wet conditions. That will provide a challenge and will make everything possible. So in just 2 minutes, we'll head into the qualifying session, and I'll start up my broadcasting tools.
green light. Go, go, go.
So everybody streaming out of the pits to get as much track time as possible in these wet conditions. And for now, it's Bram de Pretre once again first out of the pits. And yeah, I didn't spot it yet, but Michael Thomas is on the server, so we'll have to look out for the battle between those two to see how it goes for Michael Thomas. Can he hold on to his lead, or can Bram de Pretre put a dent in it and make the final race decisive? We also have Sven de Wulf in the Silver Cup and Stefan Vierloos as well for Lamborghini squad. So the current challengers, except for Alexander Huizing, are on their way to make round 7 a good one. Everybody warming up tires and brakes. The Ferrari not the best in the wet, so we'll have to see if Bram de Pretre can stick it on pole versus the BMW of Michael Thomas. Now let's go on board and see what a wet lap in anger looks like from within the yellow Ferrari of Bram de Pretre. Steady through the first part, shifting down to second to gain some traction. And you see really on the limit there in the braking zone as well. Using the double apex. And engine braking to get the car stopped. And today it will not be as difficult as in the Nordschleife race to gauge what everybody is doing. So we'll get a good view on what this 20-minute qualifying session brings. So far, the car looking quite stable for Bram and hitting its marks, so might not look fast in the wet, but we'll see how far up he gets. Also quite easy to invalidate your lap time there in the final sector, so let's see, Bram de Pretre across the line, a 151.7, immediately eclipsed by Michael Thomas, 150.7, so 6 tenths between de Pretre and Thomas at the moment, as times are starting to come in. Let's have a look. Sven de Wulf at the moment behind his teammate Tino de Munk for Yellow Bull Racing. They've been a top team, top scoring team for the past few races actually, so doing a very good job here in the second part of the season. Ralph Varela putting it on P2 for now in the Lexus, Max Beyer in 4th, but gaps understandably quite big for now. And let's see, Max Beyer, Albertini is actually going strong. Albertini half a second up on his own time. And Robert Horvath, his teammate, up into P2, only 2/10 back from Michael Thomas, so there are some possibilities. Quite a hot track, but very wet indeed, as you can see. Stefan Firlos as well is improving. He's in 16th, and he's going quicker than Albertini. Bayer now, again, going up into second, but immediately back down to third as Wim Billen gets within 25 thousandths of a second of Michael Thomas, and Albertini in 17th spot for now. Now let's have a look. Michael Huma in 11th spot, goes across the line and will improve up to P6 for him. That's good. Now, everybody has put in their banker laps, but Kevin Rowlands, Huma's teammate, also nearing the end of his lap, P9, will become P6 for him. So, together on row 4 of the grid for now. But at the front, Max Bayer and Michael Thomas are 3/10 up on their time. De Pretre as well improving. De Pretre improving quite significantly. And at the moment, Paul Heron and Cy Fillingham leading the charge in the Silver Cup. Not faces we have seen at the front of that class too often, but here goes De Pretre. He will improve. Where will he end up? 8th becomes 3rd spot for him, and Billen as well improves. Thomas now down to a 50.4. Ralph Arella. So in the Lexus, always good car in the wet. Let's see what can Arella do. Oh, he's going to get close. Also up into 3rd. Nobody getting close enough to Thomas to really bother him. But everybody finding time. Robert Horvath, for example, into the hairpin, sorry. Also, Cy Fillingham is improving 7/10 even. He's on a good lap. But Horvath in the Lexus. Let's see what he can do. A bit slower through this final sector, it seems. But now on to the power. Oh, and he loses a bit of time there. And Cy Fillingham jumping to the top as well of the Silver Cup. He's in P9 now, 1 second. Almost exactly back from Michael Thomas. Firlos and Dennis not too far apart, actually. Here is Firlos for Useless Racers. He's only 1/10 up on Ruud Dennis. So even with 2 drivers in the class, we have a battle on our hands. Dennis at the moment not improving, but still half of the session to go. So everything is still possible. Wouter Billen doing a good job so far, putting his Mustang in 2nd spot. Cliff Bulke is the next and only next Mustang in 10th. And Filos improves one position. Kevin Rowlands finishing off his lap. A bit wide. P7 stays in P7. Max Bayer. Did Max get some inspiration from his wins at the Nordschleife? He is improving. He still has a ways to go. Let's have a look from the helicam. Yeah, it's proper wet out there. Bartes is also improving. Currently not the qualifying session for Sven de Wulf. But again, plenty of time left on the clock. Bayer has lost his time as the Prêtre didn't spot it, comes out of nowhere, puts his Ferrari in third spot. The margins are very small there between P2 and P6. Let's have a look at Iridius Bartes in the Porsche. For Alpha Sim Sport. Now people starting their final runs, I think. In the wet always you want to try and get a couple more laps in, just to get a feel for the track, for the conditions. And Heron also improving now. Looks like it's getting wetter because almost everybody is losing time except for Wouter Billen. Bartes up into 14th. Where is Billen? He's in the final section. He's going to get very, very close to pole position. Oh, loses a bit of time there on the traction. Gets closer, but not close enough in the Mustang, but he has another go, as does Bartes. Let's see. Bartes 4/10 up actually on his own time. That could net him a very nice position indeed. For the rest, no notable changes incoming normally. Can Bartes hold on to this? He's 7/10 up. That will catapult him up the grid to very close to Cy Fillingham. Can he snatch Silver Cup pole position away from Cy Fillingham? Or can Paul Heron do that? He's a bit further up the road actually. Let's see. Here is Heron. And then Bartes will come up right there in the background. Ooh, Heron. He is going quick. Will it be a valid time? 11th. Yes, he goes to 7th. 3/10 up. And where is Bartes? He goes to 13th and into the pits. So Heron currently taking provisional pole in class. Can Cy Fillingham respond? Sven Hecke currently in last. He is improving, but he is struggling with the car, it seems. Quite a ways off pace. Not his usual position. And Wouter Billen and Michael Thomas They are on par with their times, but it's very, very difficult to gain time. Heron is doing it, however, as is Sven de Wulf. And Wouter Billen also, he's pushing with everything that he's got. Let's see. For the moment, Cy Fillingham not able to get any green sector times. But the top 5 is improving. The whole top 5 is going quicker. First, let's see. Paul Heron. Seventh. Stays in 7th. But Sven de Wulf coming up on the final sector, and he is going to improve a couple of positions as his Bram de Preter was quite a ways up, but here comes Sven de Wulf first, 16th to 12th position, 3rd in class now, so good job for him. And let's see Michael Thomas. He's going to improve. Oh, and he has changed his livery. 150.2. That is. Now, let's have a look at Bram de Preter, because he was going half a tenth up, but probably overshot his braking point or something. He's right back down to more or less on par with his own time. Now, it's money time now. Who can use these final 2 minutes on the clock? Always a great first sector. Arella is now in 3rd. And Cliff Bilke. Yeah, Cliff Bilke, he is improving as well. Where is he? Up to P8. He is. Well, let's go back to Bram de Preter, because he is around halfway through his lap, and he's picked up around half the time he needs. And he is behind one of the Pannonia Racing Team Lexuses. Will that harm him or help him? At the moment, it is helping him on the straight. And BRT car moves out of the way. That's Albertini. Can Bram string together a good final sector that could net him some positions on the starting grid. But Arella is also improving. One more corner to go. Difficult traction zone here. But, keeps it going, and he will improve. 4th will become 2nd behind Michael Thomas. Familiar sight. And what can Bayer and Arella do? Arella, let's see. No, Max Bayer will cross the finish line very soon. And he jumps up into 4th. Can Arella respond? Only 8 thousandths of a second between them. And the Preter in the pits, so the Preter will not be improving anymore. Arella for Team 77. Most probably will, if he keeps it together. Can he jump Bayer? Can he jump Billen? Can he get close to De Preter? We'll have to see. Oh! Big slide there, and loses all the time that he had gained. And into the pits he goes. Here is Paul Heron. He's actually again improving. As is Iridius Partes. Partes jumps up into 12th position. Nice job for him. That's session over for Partes. The only two drivers improving are Paul Heron right now. Or is Paul Heron actually. All the other drivers, as Heron crosses or jumps the chicane and goes back to the pit. So that will be it for this session. Thomas was never really in danger at the top of the timing sheets throughout the whole session, and kept improving until a 150.2 puts him on pole in front of his main championship rival Bram de Preter. Wouter Billen in third, with Max Bayer alongside him on row 2 of the grid. Then it's Arella and Horvat. Heron on pole position in the Silver Cup together with Rollins. Then Bulke and Huma filling him second in the Silver Cup. And then Partes, Sven de Wulf, Vierloos, Tino de Munk, Ruud Dennis, Tommy Kossunen, Hanna Sang, Sabolj Albertini and Sven Hekke. So now the drivers getting ready, maybe making some small tweaks to the tire pressures based on the temperatures we are getting. But we'll have to see what these conditions bring and if they will be changing in any way, shape or form. Currently looks like it will start raining a bit less in about 30 minutes time. So that should inform the drivers a little bit of how their tires will progress throughout the 90-minute race. Let me check. We do have one mandatory pit stop for fuel, but for the rest, it's all fair game. So if you want to stay in your tires, feel free to do so. We will be right back with you for the start of the race. There goes Michael Thomas to start the formation lap. And so in these conditions, crucial to get everything up to temperature and to really be on your toes for the race start, because you can easily gain but just as easily lose some positions there if you're not careful in the big spray that will be coming off. So the only one having a clear view of turn 1 will be Michael Thomas, and all the rest will have to go by feel. So I'm eager to see if we will see some alternative strategies or not, whether it will stop raining at some point during the race. And can we have a surprise? Where Bram de Pretre gets ahead of Michael Thomas in the opening stages of the race. That would be a nice scenario, but we'll see what happens. At the moment, the BMW looking very, very strong. And actually the only BMW on the grid right now, as we near the final sector and everybody starts lining up 2 by 2. So down to 65 kph and waiting for the green light. It's Thomas on the left and De Pretre on the right who will get the best start.
Green light.
And there we go for 90 minutes around the circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya. And De Pretre has to go defensive. Can Wouter Billen squeeze up the inside? For now, looks like he can. It's 3 wide, but they make it work. And Mike Spire gets ahead of Wouter Billen up into P3. So Billen tried to make the pass for P2 and loses out. And the rest of the field goes through cleanly as well. Difficult braking zone here, but everybody seems to negotiate it well, and so we're off to a good start of this race. Oh, that's a bit late braking for Paul Heron. Or his teammate Virlos. Yeah, that's his teammate Stefan Virlos, the leader in the AM Cup, has to rejoin in that last position. Thomas already with a bit of a gap coming up to the hard braking zone for the hairpin. And Bayer looking feisty, looking very quick and aggressive behind Bram de Pretre. So there will be mistakes, there will be maybe some incidents, but we'll see who comes out on top. Very difficult here to get the braking done right, but it's Michael Thomas from De Pretre, from Bayer, from Billen to round off the first lap of this race. And Paul Heron at the moment, he is still leading the charge. And Cy Fillingham again in second to last, Again, losing out on the first lap. It really hasn't been his last few months. And Sven de Wilf and Tino de Munk, the two Yellow Bull Racing cars, flying in formation in 11th and 12th position, second and third in class again, so not too bad either, keeping their noses clean. And here Kosunen following Bartisch and Tino de Munk. This is the closest battle on track right now. Again, Bartisch. Can he make a move on the Munk? So far, he can't. We hear the deep rumble of the Mercedes trying to get it stopped for the hairpin. Nice battle here for a third spot in class between Bartisch and Tino de Munk. De Preter is setting the fastest lap of the race, even, so that's a good sign from him. Kosunen, Bartisch a bit wide there. Can Kosunen capitalize? For the moment he can't, but nice battles here throughout. And now let's see here at the front of the field, Thomas looked to be running away with it a little bit in the first two laps, but now Preter is right there with him, together with Max Bayer. Dylan is already a bit further back. So good to see. Oh, there's a bit of a tussle there between Horvat and one of the Windward Racing cars. Unfortunately, Horvat staying off the racing line, and he will have to rejoin in that last. And he is waiting for, that must be, yeah, that's Roland's, and looks like Horvat misjudged his braking point because he is waiting for Kevin Rowlands. That's our gentleman rule. If you hit someone off, be so kind as to wait for them to rejoin in front and resume your battle. And that puts these two guys all the way at the bottom of the field, right behind the two Amp Cup drivers. So Dennis at the forefront of that. So we just saw that in the background while watching the lead 5 cars very closely battling it out, but also here still this battle. And actually, yeah, Sven de Wilf really putting the pressure on Huma and Bulke. Let's go on board with Sven. Oh, that's gonna be slippery. Bulke in the Mustang in front there. And Sven has proven in these last few races that he can really be consistent, keep his cool, and just stay with these, yeah, essentially 2 pro category drivers. Cliff Bulke, a former GT3 Masters champion even. Michael Huma joining us for the first season, but putting up some very good appearances. And you see the spray luckily is not too bad, so it's actually the perfect amount of rain to be challenging, but not over the top. And the Lamborghini, I must say, looking very good indeed. We saw, oh, nice catch. We saw Tino de Munk during the practice times putting in some good laps and some quick laps as well. So the setup on the Lamborghini is, or should be, working well. Let's go on board with Huma, because he is putting up, sizing up Cliff Bulke. Let's see. Ahead of Bulke in the braking zone. That's impressive in the Mercedes. And so Huma goes through for P7. Can Sven de Wulf take advantage? Oh, looked like he could, but looks for the inside, but brakes in time. Oh, this is a very nice battle indeed. And at the front, everything stays as it is, but this here is the main battle. Oh, and look at everybody joining. So while Sven de Wulf can have his sights set to the front. Oh, it's Tino de Munk. Wanted to say Tino de Munk. Oof. Big issues there for a lot of cars. Looks like maybe an oil spill or something. A lot of drivers going off, breaking up that good battle. Unfortunately for Tino de Munk, he is involved together with Sven Hekke and Iridio Spartes. And so it's all still kicking off. Virlos versus Dennis. That is a battle for the AM Cup lead right here on your screen. And Ruud Dennis really clear, opting to get out of that battle for now. They are following Cy Fillingham. He's now behind Hannah Song. Oh, that was a tricky little section there. The guy behind Tino de Munk, not sure who it was. I think just braking a little bit too late. As I said, he had to look in his rear view mirrors. And just a small tap in these conditions means you're spear off the track, and then 3 or 4 cars followed suit. So no big damage. That's good. They can all keep going, and if you look at the track map, everything is still quite close together. Number 28 still at the front. Currently it's Robert Horvat in the 112 at the bottom of the field together with Kevin Rowland, so they are still trying to catch up, and they will want to try and slice through the field. That will not be as easy as that sounds, that is for sure. Here is Cy Fillingham. He had a bit of bad luck in lap 1. He's right there in 13th spot right now. His teammate is in 5th. Lexus versus Porsche. And they have, again, Virlos and Dennis behind. Let's have a look at Ruud Dennis actually. He's not close enough to Virlos to challenge him right now. He's having to look for Tino de Munk behind him. And the gap at the front staying steady at 6 to 7 tenths. Ooh, and a bit wide. So that will be no pass at the end of this big straight for Tino de Munk. Rather, we might have to look behind. Virlos and Dennis holding their own in the middle of this big Silver Cup pack, as Paul Heron stays in P6, driving very well just behind the lead pack. 6 seconds behind Ralph Arella and Sven de Wulf. Staying with Cliff Bulke and Michael Huma. So at least de Wulf for now is taking some good points for Yellow Bull Racing. Tino de Munk has some work to do, but he has 1 hour and 17 minutes on the clock to do so, and in these conditions that's ages, that's a massive amount of opportunities. Well, here's Sven Hecke. Let's go on board with Sven. Can he make the pass on Pachtisch? He will go for it. Doesn't go for the overlap. And he has Kevin Ronans right on his tail as well. There we go. Max Bayer losing a little bit of time to the two guys in the front, but De Pretre really trying to hold on to Michael Thomas, trying to pressuring him into mistake. Again, Cy Fillingham. Let's see if he can get past Hannah Song soon. Because the Lexus does have some pace, as Kevin Ronans and Robert Horvat have now really closed up onto the back of the grid. And they are trying to get past Sven Hecke. There they are, oh, just in the background. On board with Robert Horvat and Kevin Rowland. So this is the far end of the field. Lexus, Mercedes and Ford and Michael Huma. No, sorry, Kevin Rowlands makes the move on Sven Hecke. Can Horvat do the same? Yes. Superior grip on the inside, and he gets the move done and can follow through with Rowlands. Next up they have Pachtisch in the Porsche, not too far up the road, so I think a nice recovery drive for both of these after their incident. Always nice if you don't end up really too far back, so you can still have a fun race, catching up with some people that are in slower classes, if you don't have too much damage, of course. De Pretre as our heli man, having a lot of work today. De Pretre staying right there, so it will be probably up to a mistake for Michael Thomas. Maybe some lap traffic in it's still quite early, of course. Let's have a quick look at the track map. Yeah, it's still early, but lap traffic will eventually become an issue as Horvath dives into the pits. Let's see if that is for a routine stop already. Topping it up maybe and just going to the end. That seems to be the best option for now for him. So he should be stationary for around 30 seconds. You see the big gap between the top 5, and then we have Paul Heron, number 46, in kind of no man's land. Let's hope Horvath can get going quickly, or he will be caught by the lead drivers. That will really hurt his chances, because he will receive blue flags and he will be with these guys. He's now stationary for quite a while already, probably repairing damage as everybody goes through. So here's the top 5, and Horvath gets going. I will come out probably in quite a good position, or maybe not. Probably not in front of Huma, I think. No, he will have to let Huma and Bilke past, and then maybe try to slot in behind between him and Sven de Wilf. Yeah, that's it. So we'll keep an eye out for Robert Horvath, who has now served his mandatory pit stop. So, and the Pretre really getting closer and closer. Let's go on board and see if we can spot any differences between the two drivers. Like here, the Pretre hitting the curb. Thomas just half a meter away from it. This must give the Pretre confidence. And so that also means that Horvath has changed tires, I think. Maybe adjusted the pressures a little bit. We'll get a bit less rain in 10 minutes, and then more rain in 30. So Fillingham also 3/10 behind, Hannah Song only. Also something to watch out for. A bit wide. As you can see, the Pretre are really pushing it hard. On the edge of adhesion, that is. Again, also the lead battle for the AMP Cup. Vierloos and Dennis, 1.8 seconds between them only. So some good battles brewing. Really hooking it up nicely for Bram, hitting his marks. So slightest mistake of Thomas could well be it. Fortunately, I haven't seen him make any big mistakes this season. Something we normally say of Bram de Pretre, but this season, like last time around at the Nordschleife, that was a difficult race. especially I think the top speed of the Ferrari just not good enough maybe to size up a move. Let's go on board with Cy Fillingham because he's very close to Hannah Song as well. Fillingham getting into his groove. Was it now defensive driving from Song, or is that cooling down the tires? Because it is raining a little bit less, so their tires might start to overheat just a little bit. We see the same gaps for Bulke versus Huma. So really going all in. Song, our reigning Am Cup champion, keeping her cool so far. Albertini and Kosonen are not too far away. Good catch there for Cy Fillingham. And this is really cooling down the tires. You see a bit of a drying line on the left-hand side. Let's see from the helicam. Yeah, you can really see it. Oh, completely missed his braking point there. Cy Fillingham staying on the outside line. Will he lose position to Vierloos and Dennis? Now we immediately see the battle for the Am Cup lead. Fillingham will slot in right in between. Will he have an impact on this battle? Very close, Tino de Munk now. Oh, Asrud now overshoots his braking point, so cars starting to struggle. Starting to struggle with tire temps, most probably. Starting to struggle with grip. But as you can see, everything's so close together. With these small mistakes, still you end up in a pack of cars where you can battle, where you can have people on the same skill level as you. Cy Fillingham only, I think, losing 2 positions? No, 1 position to Vierloos only. And lucky to not collect Hannah Song in the process. Fillingham diving into the pits with 1 hour and 3 minutes left on the clock. And here's our battle for the lead. And Thomas has swapped his bright pink livery for an all black one in the BMW factory. Max Bayer not able to keep up at the moment. You can also hear it. It's raining quite a bit less now at the moment. Really fighting the steering wheel of the Predator. And again, Bilke still behind Huma. Big lock up there for the Predator. Lucky to not collect Thomas now. He needs to refocus. Forget about that. And get right up to the back of Thomas once again. And cool those tires, indeed, because 30 minutes time it will start raining more heavily again. In 10 minutes time even. Right now they have to make do with it. Very nice. You can see the throttle modulation of the Predator there in the bottom of the cockpit. Try and get on terms with all the grip that is available. Slightest of mistakes. They stay on the left now. You see different lines there. Thomas takes it a bit wider. In almost every corner, to be honest, where the Predator can stay a little bit tighter. This is a good battle for the lead. Let's see, Virlos has ended up behind Ruud Dennis. So currently not in the lead of the class anymore. Yes, Ruud Dennis in the Grizzly Racing Lexus right in front of him. Joining ranks at Justus Racers, and well, if he manages to get past Ruud Dennis again, then we will have two Justus Racers topping the timing sheets in their respective classes, with Paul Heron in 6th, still leading Silver Cup. So far Virlos not yet in front of Ruud Dennis. Sorry, the sound was off. I was saying Thomas is a bit vulnerable, looks like. And a stop and go 30 for Stefan Firlos. That's not how he will be getting Ruud Dennis for the win in the AM Cup. I was saying Firlos now, 2 drivers between him and Ruud Dennis, but diving into the pits now and getting a stop and go 30. Let's hope, let's see if no one else befalls that misfortune. And Ralph Arella, we didn't really focus on him too much yet, but he has closed down the gap to Wouter Billen in P4, and so that's under a second now. And we have lost 1 driver. Can't really tell you who that is at the moment, but Bram de Pretre together with Ralph Arella. Here is Bram. There is Ralph in the background, and they are both in the pits. What will Michael Thomas do? Will he keep going round and round? Or will he also pit? Meanwhile, Bartish versus Ruud Dennis. So Dennis doesn't have to worry about Firlos, but Bartish really putting the pressure on. And Dennis defending for all his worth. That's good to see. As de Pretre serves his pit stop and goes back out, comes out just in front of Huma, I think, or maybe Rollins. No, just in front of Rollins. Yeah, so not too bad of a spot. Some clean air in front. The gap 9.8 seconds to Ralph Arella, so that's about the same. Let's see, Sven de Wulf a bit further up the road. He is still very close to Huma and Cliff Bulke as well, and Bartish. So Max Bayer also comes into the pits. Thomas and Billen keep going. So Arella and Bayer. We'll have to see where Bayer comes out. Can Arella get the undercut? That will be the question. Heron as well in the pits from the Silver Cup lead.
Keep it up.
At exactly the halfway point of this race. So let's see. In the helicam, Max Bayer in the pits as Kosunen comes past. Bartish goes past. And there is Bayer. And he comes out just in front of his teammate. Hopefully Bayer's tires are getting hot soon. But he does end up in front still of Ralph Arella. Ralph Arella is behind these guys. Yes. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So can reigning champion Max Bayer lead the way for his teammate Dennis? Can he drag him along for a bit of a ride? He's well into the mid-pack now. Ruud, of course, still needs to make his pit stop, but having a good run indeed as Huma. Oh, Sven de Wilf has gotten past Michael Huma. Let's see if we can catch that on the replay. So here they are. Oh, sorry. So there, Huma a bit wide there, just a tiny mistake, and Sven de Wilf goes through to take that position. Very nicely done indeed. Bart is in the pits, so everything now getting a little bit confusing, but no worries, no worries. And Assam is battling it out with Bram de Pretre, not really, but in any case, Bram has some clean air, and Thomas keeps going on his old tires. So now can Sven de Wilf stay in front, and Cliff Bulke as well. Cliff has gotten past Huma as well. So let's see if we can catch that. That must have been a bit earlier. Sorry that we have missed that. Yeah, still. Here is Bulke. Front of Huma. Still, here he is behind. So we missed that, and front row seat for Robert Horvat as Huma deals with some massive understeer, and Bulke goes through. So 45 minutes of pressure on the Mercedes did pay off for Cliff Bulke. And now de Pretre is up to the back of Tommy Kosonen, the only other Ferrari on the grid today. And a stop and go 10. How do you get that stop and go 10? Haven't seen that a lot. But a stop and go 10 seconds for Wouter Billen. That will drop him all the way down. An extra, yeah, let's say 45, 50 seconds added to his race time. That will put him well outside of the top 10, I feel. And Sven de Wilf up in P4. Michael Thomas keeps going, and Billen again in the pits. Gets out. Is that penalty served? Yes, it is. So stop and go 10. That must be for track limits then. Isn't that a drive-through? Anyway, Billen still has to serve his mandatory pit stop. He is currently still in second spot. Oh, sorry, Bilke is in front of him, but he has Sven de Wulf now right behind him. As Ralph Orella goes past Rudenis. Yeah. Just missed that. And Sven de Wulf in the battle with Michael Huma. Huma momentarily got back in front, but de Wulf gets it back. Oof. That was a very weird crash. So let's have a look what happened. What happened there between de Wulf and Huma. So de Wulf was well in front. Yeah, so here, let's see, other camera. Let's see, so de Wulf overshoots his braking point into the gravel, loses out to Huma, who goes defensive, brakes late himself, overshoots his braking point. De Wulf gets it back, and then now, let's see, Huma, what happens? Oh, it just gets onto the curb, I feel. Yeah, can't get it stopped. And collects Sven de Wulf. That must have felt very weird for Sven de Wulf. Like some deliberate action, but it's really not. And it's a big shame, but at the moment, Huma in the pits, Sven de Wulf is still going. Max Bayer. There he is. That's not what I wanted to show. Kevin Rowlands, yeah, he's right behind Max Bayer again. And Thomas and Cliff Bilke are still going, as are Huma. He's serving his pit stop. Kosonen at the moment at the front of this Silver Cup field, but that will not last. So eventful middle part of the race for almost everybody. And Tino de Mink having a nightmare race. He's in last. He still needs to take his mandatory pit stop. Sven de Wulf, can he get into his pit cycle in the lead of the class? For that, he needs to catch and pass Tommy Kosonen in the finger racing Ferrari. And a big dry line, as you can see. Now is the track map looking now. Our race leader coming up on number 29. That is Stefan Firlos. But that close battle is broken up. I say that. Cy Fillingham is right in front of Horvath as well. These two have Max Bayer behind them, who has already pitted. So Bayer will be hoping these two pit soon, because he might lose some time behind them if they don't. But everybody still going strong. Some great racing, some good driving in these difficult conditions. Up and down the grid. Bayer looking for ways through. Of course, he doesn't want to hit these guys off either, so needs to find a clean way to get past first Sven de Wilf, then Tommy Kosunen. All of them looking for the wet line to cool down their tires. Looking forward to see Bayer up the inside. Can he make that move stick? Yes, he can, as Michael Thomas is in the pits. And Thomas was almost 2 seconds slower than De Pretre on that last lap alone. So not sure what happened before that, but margins were very, very slim. So in just a few seconds we'll jump to Thomas and see if Bram De Pretre can get in front. He was looking quite good. Where is the track map? And where is Bram De Pretre, number 44, coming through the chicane? Oof. That's very quick from Michael Thomas. Looks like he didn't change tires. That's a very, very big gap now. It's about, yeah, let's say 10 seconds, more or less. So that's not expected, I don't think. Let's check how long he was in the pits for. Let's have a quick check. So only about 15 seconds, so no way he took a tire swap. That is very, very interesting. That will most probably maybe upset Bram De Pretre a little bit, but now he knows what to do. He needs to push and push hard, and we'll keep an eye on the lap times. Sven de Wilf has taken his pit stop, and he's now behind Paul Heron and behind Albertini and Tommy Kosunen, but he still needs to take a pit stop. So actually Thomas has stayed out in front of Cliff Bulke. Where's De Pretre? De Pretre just one main straight separating him and Michael Thomas. Now half an hour to make up about 11 seconds, 11 and a half seconds on fresher rubber in difficult conditions. Let's see if it's possible. Let's see if that is possible for Bram De Pretre. So meanwhile, Ralph Arella still trying to find a way past Tommy Kosunen. And actually the closest battle for position is between Robert Horvat and Cy Fillingham. Always good to see So an interesting strategy choice. I think it is maybe forced, probably not planned before, but pressure from the Predator was quite high. So I think Thomas assumed he would lose position after staying out a bit longer, and his only chance to keep position was to not swap the tires and hope for the best. Let's see if he can make that work. Last time around, 151.2 for the Predator, 152.1 for Thomas, so 1 second quicker, with Bilke a further second slower. So will Bilke play a role? Will he let Bram de Predator past? Or will he dive into the pits before the Predator reaches him? We'll see, but this will get very close come the end of the race, maybe even before. And will Thomas have the tires to defend? As Ruud Dennis keeps going, he feels good on these tires, feels confident, and I can't blame him. I would do the same. Just stay out, stay consistent, pick your battles, and pit as late as you can or as late as you dare, because putting on those new tires possibly can always mess with your flow. That's not something that you want in these conditions. You want to just keep hammering out those laps. And almost identical lap times for Fillingham and Horvat. 52.9, 53.1 this time around. And the Predator is already past Bilke. And again, he was half a second quicker than Thomas. Needs to gain a bit more time, that's for sure. And he has these two guys in front of him, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, number 44 there at the bottom of the track now. And he has 112 and 76 in front of him. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. At the moment, this is the closest on-track battle. But now we can, we should not calculate. We can see the gap, 10.2 seconds right now. 25 minutes left on the clock. Tino Domink, Kosonen and Dennis, the only 3 drivers still left to pit. 9.7. And will we see a decisive Bram de Predator once he reaches the back of these two guys battling it out for P16? I guess we will, because I think Bram really has a good shot here of taking the win around Barcelona. And if I'm not mistaken, let me quickly check something. No, it was at Misano. It was at Misano where the Predator also defeated Thomas So it would not be the only race where De Pretre beats Thomas if he does. But P2 for Thomas is more than enough to keep him in the lead and probably secure the championship. But that's something for in 2 weeks' time at Suzuka, crowning all the champions, etc. 9.1 is the gap now, and Paul Heron and Cliff Bilke. Heron is the Silver Cup leader. Can Heron make a move into the hairpin? He goes for the inside, brakes late, brakes too late. Cliff saw that coming, left the door open and retakes the spot. But yeah, Paul Heron doing a good job tonight in these conditions. Most probably winning his class if he can keep this up for another 22-23 minutes. .4 now. Gap coming down. Once again gets close, gets very close to Bilke, maybe pushing a little bit too hard, overshooting his braking points now. As you can see, gaps still very manageable for everybody. Small gaps, so small mistakes can make a big difference. And yeah, it will start raining again a bit more in 10 minutes time. We'll see if that plays into the hands of De Pretre or Thomas. I feel De Pretre might benefit a bit more from that, but we'll see. 7.6 is the gap, so it's coming down steadily, about half a second per lap, 1 second this time around. And again, onto the main straight. Bilke goes defensive now. Will Heron go for another move? Stays behind for now. Did Arella already get past Horvat and Fillingham? He did not. So now he will want to try and get past as soon as possible. Horvat lets him through. Now we'll have to again employ our helicam and see if Cy Fillingham can let De Pretre through without getting caught by Robert Horvat. That will be the challenge. Fillingham. Oof. Quite a bit slower than De Pretre expected there off the final turn. So De Pretre losing some time there, but yeah, no harm done, of course. And Fillingham slots back in front, but now needs to keep an eye out for that inside line here into the braking zone for turn 4. That was close. So 7.5 is the gap. 17 minutes left on the clock. This is still manageable. 17 minutes. It's about seven laps. Yeah, a second a lap. Could get very, very close indeed. Meanwhile, we can watch Bram de Pretre in the foreground and watch this battle in the background. Horvath goes for it. Sai turns it in, but ends up wide, and Horvath goes through for P16. Lexus versus Lexus. So 8/10 gained by de Pretre on this last lap. Oh, and a slide for Cy Fillingham. So that position loss for him, unfortunately losing him some concentration. And when will Kosonen and Dennis spit? They have 16 minutes still left to do so, together with Tino de Munk. So good race to watch as Rui Dennis dives into the pits. Now we will see where he ends up with respect to Stefan Firlos, but we know that Firlos did get a stop and go 30, so it should not even be close. We didn't see Dennis make any big mistakes. Here he is in the pits, the Grizzly Racing Lexus. So that leaves Kosonen and Firlos. Dennis already gets going again. He ends up behind Hannah Song, I think. Behind Sven de Wulf and in front of Bartes. So good spot for him to be in. Just in front of Huma and Horvath. And Fillingham, of course. The gap down to 5.7 now at the front. And also Wouter Billen wants a piece of Cliff Bilke, who got passed by Paul Heron just 2 to 3 laps ago. And Billen, after his stop and go, 10 seconds fighting it back. He was in P3, but now fighting for what is P7. Mustang versus Mustang. Billen, can he go for the inside line? He does. Gets the braking done, but ends up wide. Will this cost him, or can he stay in front? He can stay in front. Didn't make the corner though, but P8 currently for Bilke, missing his teammate David Torre today. So what other close battles do we have here? Four seconds, 12 minutes. This is very doable. He will be able to get close. Bram de Pretre, will he be able to get past? That's the question. Full 1.7 seconds quicker than Thomas, who is really starting to struggle now with his tires. So here is Bram de Pretre, and we see Michael Thomas in the foreground. The gap is now under 3 seconds. As Bartes, we can still follow this one first. Bartes on the back of Ruud Dennis. Will he defend P13? Yes, he does. For now. But he doesn't want to crash. That was very close. 2.1 in the front. It is going to happen one way or another. It starts to rain more heavily, as you can see visually as well. 1.7. It's going very quickly. Let's go on board with Bram de Pretre for his hunt for glory here around Barcelona. His hunt for Michael Thomas. Now he knows he has 10 minutes. He can take it a bit easier. He's right there with him. You see indeed it's raining a lot heavier now. Now where can he get through? We know the stop line, top speed is not great on the Ferrari, so he still has to get a good traction out of the final turn, or in the middle sector there in the hairpin. With a lap time difference of 1.5 to 2 seconds, there should be a way for him to get past. But for sure, Thomas will defend, and he will defend hard. And positioning a car here at Barcelona is not too difficult. It's possible to just drive in the middle of the road and defend. There is quite some grip advantage for the Pretre, so let's see. Really hammering the engine there on the downshifts. Wide for Thomas. Will this be it already? No, not yet. So this was the battle that has been brewing for 80 plus minutes already. Thomas goes defensive, goes quite wide as well. Now that BMW is going to get as wide as he possibly can. Careful to not hit each other off. Max Bayer is only 14 seconds back. And he will be closing, of course. He's also on fresh tires. And this should be it for the Pretre. He has good traction. But the top speed is not what he is hoping for, so you will have to do it in the braking zones, in the turns. Oh, and a mistake from Thomas. And Thomas now on the dirty line, loses out, and the Pretre makes his way past to take the lead of this race for the first time in 84 minutes of racing. Bram de Pretre is at the front of the race when it counts. But as you can see, 6 minutes only left on the clock, and yeah, good gamble I think for Thomas. Seems to have been the only possibility for him to stay out in front. You never know where de Pretre ends up with his strategy. Ends up in a big battle pack, has some small incidents. Then in that case he would not have been as close. But more or less a perfect race from both of them. But Bram de Pretre has shown today that he has the pace around wet Barcelona over Michael Thomas. Now he still needs to keep it together for the next 5+ minutes. Max Bayer will be a bit too far back to challenge Thomas. 13 seconds in 5 minutes. That's he is our reigning champion, but he's not Ayrton Senna, so we'll see. We'll see. Now Sven de Wulf, he is in a battle of his own with Hannah Song. So if there wasn't enough spice in this race, we have Sven de Wulf catching a big slide there. With the main word being catching there. So he is still in with another shot of Hannah Song and a P11 finish. His teammate Tino de Munk is the only driver still left with his mandatory pit stop, and he's serving that one right now, but he will most probably finish the race in last. Although we had 20 drivers at the start of the race, so we'll see at the end who we have lost during the session. Can't think of the name right now. And the Pretre running away with it. The gap between Thomas and Bayer only 10 seconds now, so it's going quite quickly. Let's see, lap times, yeah, 1.5 seconds per lap, but also fastest lap for the Pretre 50.2, whereas he's currently doing yeah, high 52s, so the track is a lot wetter than earlier in the race. We saw that as well visually. So Yellow Bull Racing will not be the top point scorers today. We'll see, that might be there's not too many teams high up with 2 drivers actually. Might be Huma and Rollins, Windward Racing. Might be Heron and Fiedlos. No, probably not. De Wulf and de Munk, also not. So maybe Albertini and Horvat, also not great. De Pretre doesn't have his teammate here today. Thomas doesn't have a teammate. Bayer with Ruud Dennis might be your best bet. So can Sven de Wulf gain another spot here at the final, in the final stages of this race? That song goes a bit wide. Let's go on board with de Wulf, seesawing away at the steering wheel. Has to be patient, but doesn't have too much time either, so very unfortunate there. So with these scenes, I already want to thank you. The leader is on the final lap already. That is Bram de Petre. We'll jump to him in a bit. I already want to warm you up for Suzuka in 2 weeks' time for the season finale. 2 hours around Suzuka, always a great spectacle, staple of this series of the RRL GT3 Masters. And then in 2 weeks' time we will crown our champions in all of the classes, and let's hope for a nice big grid for the final race of this this epic season again. But for today, it's for the first time since round 2 at Misano, it is Bram de Petre taking the win in front of his main rival Michael Thomas. And Max Baer comes within 4 seconds of Michael Thomas. So really struggling now. But yeah, de Petre, well deserved, was able to keep the pressure on Thomas throughout the first stint. Pressured him into a risky strategy, not changing the tires. And well, it paid off. So congratulations to Bram de Petre and to Michael Thomas as well, finishing once again on the podium. So consistency is key to win a championship like this, and he's more than likely to do that. But here is your race winner for NSN Racing. It is Bram de Petre. Michael Thomas on the gravel here, finishing it off as well in second. And Max Baer, after 2 wins at the Nordschleife, a podium spot at Barcelona. Very nice to see Ralph Arella photo finish, team finish with his teammate Cy Fillingham, who is a lap down. And Paul Heron will take the Silver Cup win. That was quite clear for quite a while already, but a good, very good performance even for Paul Heron, finishing it in P5. That's great to see. Wouter Pillen making it up again still to P6 after stop and go 10, so that's a massive performance as well for him. Cliff Bilke, he will finish in P7. Kevin Rowlands P8. Albertini, a good job for him in P9. And Hannah Sung and Sven de Wulf. Oh, let's follow that to the end. Who will come out on top in this battle? Sven de Wulf really wants that P10 it has become. No, someone has left the server already, but let's see, can Sven de Wulf put in a last ditch attempt? Very difficult one. Over the curbs. No, that will not be the best of exits. So it's Hannah Song from Sven de Wulf from Iridius Partis, very close as well. And Ruud Dennis taking a well-deserved win in the Yam Cup. Here's the final standings. It was Sven Hekke that we lost, but Ruud Dennis taking the win. Tommy Kossinen and Cy Fillingham behind him. Robert Horvat in 17th. Stefan Virlos in 18th position. Tino de Munk, a bit of a nightmare race for him, as I said, in P19. and Sven Hecke in P20. So a good race. And Bram de Pretre in the end finishing 7.1 seconds in front of Thomas, and Max Bayer only 0.6 of a second behind Michael Thomas. So that was very, very close indeed. So let's see if there's anyone up for a chat. Yes, there is. Hey Bram, good evening and congratulations.
Hey Miguel, good evening.
Hey.
Thanks.
So how did that feel? That was a tough race, I think.
Yeah, very tough, especially the first half where I was behind Michael constantly in the spray. It's very hard. Yeah, it's hard to keep your focus, so it's easy to make a mistake. So I wasn't sure what he was doing. If he was also gonna swap halfway, turned out he didn't take new tires, and then yeah.
No,
Oof.
indeed. Yeah. Another win. I said it after round 2 at Misano. You took the win in front of Michael, and now again. But I think you, from our perspective, you forced him into a no swap strategy. I think you were a bit faster, and it was the only way for him to stay in front.
Yeah, that might be the case. Yeah, I'm not sure, but
Most
satisfying
probably.
win, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Very
indeed.
satisfying win.
And at the end there with Robert and Sai between you and Michael, was that still a bit of a
Well,
tough
I wasn't
moment?
sure at first how much I was gaining every lap, so I wasn't sure. Back markers, you do lose some time, of course. That's normal. But I was looking at how much time was left in the race, and then yeah, you start calculating, but at the same time you're still driving on track, so it's risky to lose the focus then. But turned out I managed to get it done just in time.
Yeah, in the end you still had a bit of time left actually, but
Yeah.
at the
Indeed.
beginning of after Michael pitted, looked like it would have been very, very close at the end. But in the end you only
Exactly. Yeah.
finished 0.6 in front of Max even, so he
Oh,
was
really?
really struggling, or maybe not
The
pushing anymore.
tires.
But
Yeah, those wet tires really suffer, especially here on this
yeah,
kind of track with all the cornering, all the fast cornering. I can imagine the wet tires really start to wear and they get unpredictable and slower, of course, as well.
yeah, and it did get a lot wetter as well at the end.
Oh yeah, it did. Especially last, I think, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you could really notice the difference. There was a lot more water on the track, indeed. So.
All right, well, great. Congrats again. Good result.
Thanks.
And looking forward to the final race at Suzuka, I hope.
Yes, of course. We
Let's
do.
hope for a bit of a bigger grid there for 2 hours.
Yes,
But
for
we'll
sure.
see.
Otherwise, yeah, with a smaller grid on Suzuka might not be the most satisfying, or how should I say, race.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we will see.
But we will see. Anyway, thanks and congrats. Enjoy it.
Yes, thank you. Have a good
Cheers.
evening, Miguel.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So Bram de Pretre, race winner here at Barcelona, talking about his second race win of this championship, and looking forward as well to Suzuka in 2 weeks' time. That's our season finale. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, so you are notified when we go live. But we will go live at our usual time slot, 7 p.m. UK time, for the start of qualifying, and then followed by a 2-hour race around Suzuka. Again, I need to thank you for joining us. If you liked the stream, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, as I said. And we will see each other in 2 weeks' time for the season finale of the RRL GT3 Masters, the 8th edition, I should say. It was not the 7th edition, it was the 8th edition already. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.